Roman Empire's air pollution may have lowered the IQ of Europe. The Roman Empire's pervasive influence once reached across land, sea, and even sky. During the golden age of Roman imperialism, air pollution grew so inescapable that researchers now suspect it caused widespread neurological damage over much of Europe, including most of what is now Great Britain. Based on ice core records from the Arctic, atmospheric levels of toxic lead spiked between 100 BC and 200 BC, 200 AD, as the Roman Empire began mining and smelting metals like never before. A child born within the Roman Empire at this time would have roughly 3 times as much lead in their blood on average as kids in the US today, researchers estimate. And using modern evidence of lead pollution and its health effects, the international team calculates that the lead exposure in the Roman Golden Age could have caused a population-wide drop of IQ about 2.5 to 3 points per person, and that goes for most of the Roman Empire, including its provinces of Gaul, which is France, Northwest Africa, Iberia, which is Spain, and Britain. An IQ reduction of 2 to 3 points does not sound like much, but when you apply that to essentially the entire European population, it's kind of a big deal, says snow and ice hydrologist Nathan Chelman from the Desert Research Institute in the US. These are just estimated of lead pollution in the air. Lead pipes and lead vessels also delivered toxic particles straight into the mouths of elite Romans and the urban population. All Europeans, their livestock and agricultural fields were exposed for centuries to background atmospheric lead pollution resulting from the large-scale mining and processing of lead silver ores that underpinned the Greek and Roman economies, writes the international team of researchers, including climatologists and epidemiologists, who hail from institutes in Denmark, the UK, US, Canada, Austria, and Switzerland. This background lead pollution in air and soil may have been the most significant exposure route in rural, non-elite populations. No amount of lead in the blood or body is safe, but the higher the concentration, the more disastrous the results. Today, epidemiological studies suggest that blood lead levels as low as 3.5 milligrams per DL in children are linked to decreased intelligence and learning impairments later in life, commonly measuring used IQ tests. In the US, lead pollution is sometimes referred to as longest-running epidemic in the nation. Since the 1940s, scientists estimate lead exposure has lowered the IQ of half the population, mostly from the burning of fossil fuels. In the last 40 years, lead exposure has thankfully plummeted, and now that lead gasoline is restricted, along with numerous lead-based products, children in the US have a lead level of around 0.6 to 0.8 mg per DL. In Roman times, children probably had an average lead level of 3.4 milligrams per DL, according to the current study models. Given this is a mean calculation, it's likely many children had concentrations of lead that put them at great risk of neurological impairment. The results align with previous ice core studies, which have also noted a spike in atmospheric lead at the peak of the Roman Empire, and archaeological finds which have revealed high levels of lead in the teeth of many Roman children. This is the first study to take a pollution record from an ice core and invert it to get atmospheric concentrations of pollution and then assess human impact, says Joe McConnell, hydrologist and lead author of the study. The idea that we can calculate this for 2,000 years ago is pretty novel and exciting, he said. The study was published in PNAS and is by Carly Casella on Science Alert. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.